So we're here in my garage. I know the hood, the body line on the hood isn't straight. It's out of whack, but that's because I just got it sitting there. It's not bolted down completely. So anyway, so let's summarize for those that have not been following. So I bought this car from a fella named Ben, and he has his own YouTube channel. It's called the Corvette Ben. Really good. He does a lot of C3 Corvette restorations and not restorations, but getting them back to driving condition again. And he also does a lot of old cars too, you know, from the 50s. And the working on these cars are his passion, and I really enjoy watching his channel. So if you have an opportunity on YouTube, go to the Corvette Ben and enjoy his shows. He's got a lot of them. He's got a lot of cars that he's put back on the road. So I bought this car from him, and you know, he did, I think, a 13 video series on this car called the Abandoned 1974 Corvette Project, or the Abandoned Corvette Project, I believe that was what it's called. And he put this car that was basically a shell back together from parts that he had in his parts stash from all of this time working on C3 Corvettes, which I thought was really cool. So I bought the car, and like he had described, it's not a numbers matching car. It doesn't have the original engine. It didn't have the original paint. It didn't have the original interior. It didn't even have any interior when he got it. And this car's set for like 10 years in the state that it was in when he found it. So he got it back up and running. And if you remember, if you've watched that series, he pointed out the fact that the paint job had a lot of flaws in it. It had a lot of bubbling. It had a lot of, chips, and there was some body damage and things like that. So the first thing I did was take it to a local guy here in Fort Worth and get it stripped down, get the body repaired where it needed it, and then put new paint on it. So I've done a few videos, little short bursts on this car as I was checking on the progress at Freddy's. And so basically what had happened was he took this car back down to the fiberglass. He had to go through, I think, 7 layers of paint. This car had changed colors like 5 times over its life. And it had some damage in the nose. There was a few cracks in this corner here. And so he had to go in and do once he got it down to fiberglass, he did a fiberglass repair. We replaced the nose cap, the nose here, the bumper, with a new bumper. And then there was a damaged part right here. And then there was cracking up the body line here. So all that was repaired. And the old bumper was taken off. And then it was all stripped down and then built back up. So we put once we got back down to fiberglass, we gel coated it, or he gel coated it, and then put a epoxy primer over it, and then sanded it, and then he did 2 coats of color and 4 coats of clear, and then he wet sanded, color sanded it. Well, yeah, he color sanded it in that process, and then he buffed it and polished it and got it where we're at today. So So what we're going to do is now I got to get started. I've got a whole bunch. So I've got some parts here. I've got parts up there. And I've got some more parts over here that I have been getting for this car. So I don't have all the parts that I need, but I will, little by little, as time progresses, get those things. So probably, you know, let's see what we're going to do. So what are we missing? So I need to, so the Corvette Ben, he replaced the carpet when he put this interior in. Now all this interior is from used parts. So these are not original seats. Eventually I would like to go back, even though these seats are very comfortable, they just don't fit right in this car. And I would like to put original seats back in the car. So eventually down the road, I'm going to put some original seats in it. There are some repairs. I got a crack on that armrest right there where the brake, the emergency brake is. And if I can get that to focus, there we go. And I need to repair that and redo it. The emergency brake I got to work on. So I had a kit because the emergency brakes in the rear tires, I did it on one side, it was completely gone. And this side, I have to drill out the hub so I can get access to that part of the emergency brakes. And I'm pretty sure it's messed up too. And I got to go through all that and redo it. Of course, my door cards, not there. They are right there. So they're not weathering too well. Probably what I'm going to do is get new door cards. I think that would be the best course of action. I'm going to take the hardware and restore it in my little shop and use this hardware on some new door cards. That way it can save me a little bit of money. I'm going to remove. So let's hang on just a second. So naturally in the process of doing the paint, as you can see, the weather stripping was removed on the tops, and then also on the doors. So, and then in there, that was removed. So I've got to go in, I'm going to take all of this out, all of this trim, the trim that's damaged. If I can't repair it decently, I'm going to replace it. And then, clean all of this up. Make it look nice again. Get the bright work back to where it's supposed to be. And then, here's a little bit of rubber stripping. So, and then get all the new weather stripping put on. So, I got a radio for the car. It's a period correct radio for the car, and I hope it works. I don't have any speakers here. I do know that there are speakers in the dash, and I'm gonna have to blow up this dash because the dash is cracked, and this is one of those dash covers, and it really fits nice. I just have it setting in here. It's not in permanently. So I'm going to remove this and get access to the dash, go back through things, and, you know, clean it up, straighten it up even more. And then slowly but surely put things back together, back in order. I need to get a new mirror, I think, or if I can find a nice clean one, get a nice clean one, because this one is pretty ratty. So, and it's, as I touch it, things are coming off. So, yeah, it's sketchy. Take this off, go back through it again. I've noticed that when I shift, this cover here doesn't stay like it's supposed to. I also have noticed that the control head for their high vac unit is not mounted in there solidly. So I got to get all this out, take all of this out, and just go back through it again and put it together. I have to pop open the steering wheel and retighten the telescoping lock. It's not tightened down. That's the problem. What happened was that somewhere in this 1 year process, Freddie lost my keys, so he had to put a whole new cylinder set in the car, which kind of made me a little mad because I thought the keys were original to the car. I don't know. They might not be. But anyway, he did their new cylinder, and then when he reassembled all of this, he didn't tighten there's a nut in there. It's loose, and that's what locks down the telescoping steering wheel. So that's not a big deal. I can do that pretty easy. So one of the reasons why I got the door cards left off is I was thinking about replacing them anyway, because they were bought off eBay and they weren't really good. I mean, and I wanted something that looked a lot better. So, but I got the vapor barrier to go in here. So I'm going to go through, you know, of course, source some correct 10 ohm speakers that fit in here. There is what looks like, or I thought was, a wiring harness. I'll have to look a little closer. And I don't know. I'll see. This may not work. I might just stay with these speakers up here, because this is not really for something to be blasting with speakers. It's just nice to have. So, but anyway, get back to this. So I'm going to put the vapor barrier on and then door cards. There are missing a few pieces. There are some pieces here that bolt in, that help lock this window down and keeps it centered instead of flopping like it is. And that helps it guide along the track a lot better. Let's see. You heard that. Oh, pushing the button. All right. Yeah, I had to get a new battery, which that's cool. I got a an AGM, so that'll be a lot better for it. I've got to get in here and I've got to really clean and scrub this thing. So all of this has got to come out. Pretty much every bit of it. Now, let's see if I can get this to pop. Yeah, this is not setting. Hang on a minute. There. Okay, that helps. So, yeah, so I got a lot of cleaning to do it here. So one of the things I noticed was that the brakes, virtually non-existent. And I know from having all of this wheels off that the brake parts are pretty new. I mean, the calipers, the pads are new. The calipers, yeah, they've got some surface rust on them that I helped mitigate a little bit when I was going through them. and everything, but they're essentially new. This reservoir is pretty new. I mean, it's got grime on it right now. What I'm thinking is this boy right here is not, it's got maybe a leak in it or something. I've got to go through the brakes. I've got to try and bleed them again and see if I can get some brakes established because they're really sketchy right now. So I've got a lot of engine work to do. I got to get a new radiator. I'm going to go with an aluminum radiator with electric fan setup. I've got new water pump, new alternator, new intake, new carburetor. And then I've got pieces to fit in here. I need a new water reservoir. I need to run lines. I need to clean up. So I got to clean up the lines. My headlights on that side are out because they weren't reconnected. You can see them dangling. The harness dangling right there. So I've got to put that back together. Clean this all up in the front, clean this in the interior. I've got a seal kit to go in the engine bay that's got the curtains that fit over that are missing on this. Let's see, I don't have, eventually, this is an AC car. It's a factory AC car, and it has some AC parts, but it didn't have all of them. Of course, obviously the compressor's missing. That would go right there. But it does have the canister down there. I don't know if it works or not. The blower works. I know that for a fact. And I don't know how that whole part of the AC system is going to work or not. We'll see. I am missing I don't remember the terminology. The condenser, I'm missing that. And then I think I have the AC bracket for it. So anyway, but there's a lot of work that's got to go in here. I've got to clean up everything. I've got to remove what's broken. Start dressing up all of the parts and getting them correctly back together. And then get things ready to start. I'm debating on whether or not I'm gonna pull this motor. I might just keep this motor. I'm trying to do this as economically as I possibly can, but still get a very good result for my effort. So the motor runs fine. I mean, I've run it. It doesn't smoke a lick. It fires right up, okay? The only thing right at this point that I'm interested in doing is making what looks like a ratty bay right now look a little prettier. So remember what I was trying to do. I was trying to get this car back to a condition where it can go to, just the local car shows, and I can have fun in it. I'm not trying to race this car or anything like that. I'm trying to, as economically as possible, show everybody that you can take a car like this, and if you do your homework and you be patient, you can little by little get a car back to a condition where you don't feel bad taking it to a little local car show and doing well with it, or just having fun, So you don't have to have, tens of thousands or $100,000s of dollars having some, super show quality ground up rotisserie restoration car to take to a car show. You can, have something like this that has really been abused and just give it some love and bring it back to life and have fun doing it. So that's where we're at. I hope you enjoyed it. If you got any comments, please leave a comment. Please hit like and subscribe. And there'll be more videos on this car now that I have it. And we'll catch you guys later. Have a great day. Bye.